You grew up wanting to be the hero. It started with cartoons, red trucks, big boots, sirens screaming through the streets. You'd press your face to the window when one passed by. You'd imagine yourself riding in the back, suited up, ready to save the day. People ask, what do you want to be? And you said it with your chest, a firefighter. They smiled, told you it was brave, told you it was noble, told you it was hard, but nobody told you what it really felt like. The first time you walk into a burning building, the heat hits you like a truck. It's not like anything you've ever felt. It's not just hot, it's alive. It moves around you, eats the air, crawls along the walls. You can't see more than a foot in front of your face. Your gear is heavy. You're sweating before you even step inside. And still, you go, because that's the job. You train for months before you ever touch a fire. You learn the steps, the tools, the way to swing an axe without wasting energy, how to move through smoke without panicking, how to talk to someone who's trapped, how to carry them out even when your legs are shaking. They teach you everything, except how it really feels. The first time you carry someone out, you don't feel like a hero. You feel fear. You feel pressure. You feel the weight of the person, of the moment, of the job, but you keep moving. You keep breathing. You don't stop. That's when you realize being a firefighter isn't about being fearless. It's about doing the job even when you're afraid. You get your badge, your helmet, your number. You sit in the station waiting for the tone to drop. Your gear's always by your side. You eat fast. You don't sleep well. You jump when the alarm goes off, whether it's midnight or midday. You answer calls that make your heart race, and ones that turn out to be false alarms. Doesn't matter. You show up for all of them. You learn how to move fast, how to think faster, how to listen, even when your ears are filled with sirens. You learn how to walk into chaos and not let it swallow you. People still call you brave, still clap when they see the truck, but they don't see what you carry. They don't see what it costs. That comes later. For now, you're just beginning, and the fire's already calling your name. Your life becomes a countdown. Every day starts with a tone, a ring, a voice on the radio that doesn't say hello, just a call, a location, a problem. You don't get time to think. You don't get time to ask questions. You just move. You're always ready, even when you're not. You try to sleep, but it's light. You never really rest. You eat fast because the alarm could go off in the middle of your plate. You shower quick, half listening for the call. You learn how to be off duty without ever really turning off. Your shifts are long, 24 hours, sometimes longer. You wake up to smoke, or to a heart attack, or to a car crash on a dark road in the middle of nowhere. You wake up ready to run towards something everyone else is trying to escape. You never know what's coming next. You might be climbing stairs in full gear at 3 a.m. You might be breaking down a door with smoke in your eyes. You might be pulling someone's grandfather out of a bedroom fire, or giving CPR to a stranger's child on the front lawn. And then, you might be cleaning the truck and getting ready to do it all again in an hour. It never stops. Your body starts to feel it. The heavy gear, the back-to-back calls, the constant wear and tear, your knees ache, your back locks up. Your hands go numb sometimes, but you don't say anything. You stretch, you ice, you suit up anyway. The adrenaline makes you feel invincible until it doesn't. Your mind starts to feel it too. The noise, the pressure, the feeling that you have to stay sharp no matter what. One wrong move, one slow second, and someone gets hurt, or worse. But you can't show fear. You can't slow down. You have to be the calm one when everyone else is falling apart. You have to act like everything's okay even when the house is coming down around you. And when the fire's out, when the scene is clear, when everyone else goes home, you don't. You head back to the station, you wash the soot off your gear, you get the hoses back on the truck, you reset, you reload, you wait for the next one. People say you're lucky to have a schedule. Days on, days off. They don't understand what happens during the days on. They don't know what it feels like to work 3 calls before lunch, to hold someone's hand while they fade, to get back to the station and still have paperwork to do before you can sit down. You're tired, but you stay ready, because someone has to. You stop counting how many fires you've run into. You stop counting how many people you've helped, how many calls you've answered, how many faces you've seen in moments they'll never forget, and you'll never unsee. No one talks about the quiet part of the job. The nights when the house is dark and your hands won't stop shaking. The dreams that replay scenes you didn't get to fix. The calls where you showed up too late. The ones where doing everything right still wasn't enough. You keep it to yourself. At the station, everyone laughs, cracks jokes, acts like everything's fine. You do it too. You learn how to hide what's going on. You learn how to smile when you're numb inside. Because no one wants to hear that the hero isn't okay. You tell yourself it's normal, that it's just part of the job, that you'll shake it off. But it builds. Each call stays with you. Not just the big ones, not just the fires. The overdose you couldn't reverse. The mother begging you to save her son. The kid who didn't make it. You carry them all one by one, like bricks in a pack you never get to take off. You don't talk about it because you're afraid. Afraid someone will think you're weak. Afraid they'll take you off the truck. Afraid they'll look at you differently. So you deal with it in silence. You stop sleeping. You get more distant. You feel angry at nothing. Sad for no reason. You stare at walls longer than you mean to. You laugh at jokes but don't feel anything. You go through the motions until something snaps. For some, it's a breakdown. For others, it's walking away. For many, it's just becoming quiet, detached, cold. The gear still fits. The steps still work, but the spark inside is flickering, and no one sees it. Because from the outside, you still look like a firefighter. You still ride the engine, you still wear the badge. But inside, you're burning out, and you don't know how to say it. Because this job teaches you to help everyone but yourself. You signed up to fight fires, to save lives, to help people on their worst day. You didn't sign up for the broken radios, the cracked helmets, the aging trucks with warning lights that never turn off. You didn't sign up for budget meetings, staff cuts, or gear that's older than some of the rookies. But you deal with it, because someone has to. The money isn't what people think. You're not getting rich. You're not cashing big checks. You're buying your own boots, replacing broken flashlights out of pocket, working extra shifts just to stay ahead of the bills. You clock out, but you don't really leave. You take the job home, you take the injuries, the worry, the weight, and when the pay stub shows up, it doesn't feel like enough. It never has. Then the politics hit. You show up to help, to run toward the smoke, to drag someone's father out of a wrecked car, to hold a child's hand while their house burns down. But behind the scenes, you're numbers on a spreadsheet. You're a budget item, a bargaining chip, a vote. You hear the same speech every year. We support our first responders. But then the budget cuts hit. The training is outdated. The overtime is frozen. The station doesn't have enough people to cover the next shift, so you do it anyway. You double up. You stay late. You cover for the guy who got injured on a call that should have had more hands on it. You tell yourself it's fine. You're used to it. But it wears you down. You see rookies burn out in a year. You see old vets hang on with bad knees and quiet bitterness. You see the good ones leave because they can't survive on thanks alone. And still, when that call comes, you're the first one to suit up. You know it's not fair. You know you deserve more. But you don't do it for the money or the title. You do it because someone's got to show up. Someone's got to walk into the fire. You've asked for more support, more funding, better equipment. Sometimes you get it, most times you don't. But the fires don't care about politics, neither does the smoke. You make it work, because you're a firefighter. And the job doesn't pause just because the system is broken. You've seen things you can't unsee. You've pulled people from wreckage, kicked down doors, watched homes fall and families break. You've stood in silence after a failed rescue and still gotten back in the truck. You've missed birthdays, missed sleep, missed feeling like a person instead of a job title. You've worked through holidays, through sickness, through days when you couldn't even think straight because someone had to, and it was you. You don't talk about what it's done to you, about how your body aches in places you can't name, about how your mind replays the worst calls on the quiet nights, about how hard it is to keep showing up when you're running on empty, but you still do. Because for every call that breaks you, there's one that reminds you why you started. The save, the hand squeeze, the family that walks away because you showed up. You don't do it for glory, you don't do it for money. You do it because when the world catches fire, someone has to step into the smoke. And that someone is you. You've learned how to hold a scared child without showing your own fear. How to stay calm while the world around you burns. How to cry quietly in the shower when the shift finally ends. You've learned how to carry guilt and still show up to the next call like nothing happened. You know what it feels like to sit in the truck with someone who just lost everything. To tell a family you did all you could, even when you wish you could have done more. You learned to live with that weight. You've learned what real teamwork feels like. The kind where someone hands you a bottle of water without saying a word. The kind where a nod means more than a thank you. The kind where trust is earned by action, not talk. Your crew becomes your family. The ones who know what you've seen without asking. The ones who've carried you through fires and long nights and quiet breakdowns in the back of the station. The kind of family that doesn't need words to know something's wrong. You carry more than gear. You carry responsibility. You carry pain. You carry memories no one else ever sees. But you also carry hope. Hope that you can stop the next fire. That you can be there in time. That you can make someone's worst day a little less terrible. And even when you feel tired, Even when your body says quit, even when your heart's heavy from the last call, you still suit up. Because being a firefighter isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to walk into danger again and again because someone needs you to. You don't need applause, you don't need fame, you just need to know that when the tones drop, you'll be there. You're a firefighter. That's why it sucks to be a firefighter, and that's exactly why you never stop showing up.